Well, good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning, about 8:30. It's May 31st, and I'm getting ready to head out on a roughly about 150-mile ride. I'm participating in a ride, a vintage bike ride. I doubt there'll be very many minis, probably mostly, like old Honda CB750s and BMW Airheads and, Triumphs and, just older bikes, BSAs, whatever. More bigger street bikes, but hopefully the Piggly Wiggly can keep up. It's about a 90-mile ride, what they have scheduled. We're leaving out of the south side of Indianapolis and then heading south of me, down toward Nashville, Indiana, Brown County. Not exactly sure where the final destination is, but I've got to ride about 25 to 30 miles north up to it, and then once the ride ends down in Brown County, then I've got to ride back home. So I'm thinking I'm going to have probably close to 150 miles. So just kind of checking out the bike, checking my oil. Looks like I need to add a little bit of oil. How do you guys check your oil? Do you screw the cap all the way back in, or do you just set it? I just set it. That's the way I was always taught to do it, and check the oil that way. So I'm going to go get some more oil and add to it, but I think everything else is good. It's sprinkling this morning. I don't know if you can, it's not really bad. It's supposed to be done here in the next 20, 30 minutes. So hopefully we won't get too wet, but been wet before. I'm not gonna let it bother me. All right, let's get some oil.
And we're off, headed north out of Martinsville, heading to the south side of Indianapolis. This is Blue Bluff Road. Kind of a fun little curvy road. Looking forward to today. I'm just going to hang back at the back of the pack because I might be the only guy on a small bike, a mini, and I've done rides like this before, and they kind of give you looks like, what the heck are you doing? Riding in our ride. So just to kind of avoid all that, I think I'll just stay at the back of the pack today. But probably not going to do a lot of ride footage because you guys, I've inundated you guys with that in the last week or so. So I'm going to try and get up here and get a lot of video of the bikes, show you the different styles that are participating and so forth. I'm going to admit right off the bat, I'm not real knowledgeable about any other bikes you get outside of these little Honda minis. I'm not super knowledgeable, so it's not going to be a history lesson for sure. It's definitely just going to be me showing you guys what's participating. So, all right, let's keep rolling. I got about 25 miles ahead of me.
I hope you enjoy the next minute or so of this spirited ride, as Don Soul would call it. He loves to give me a hard time about a little faster pace than he would like to go rides, I believe. He calls them a spirited ride, but we're headed up Blue Bluff Road, just north of Martinsville, and I consider myself extremely lucky to have so many miles of really nice roads to ride on, and this one is one of those. Here in a minute, the video is going to click over, and we're going to go from Blue Bluff to Man Road. That's where we're at here. This is called Man Road, M-A-N-N. It is up closer to the south side of Indianapolis, but still a very enjoyable ride. It's kind of curvy. It's scenic. We actually, when I left the ride this weekend with all the other bikers, we actually came back down this road the other direction and then kept heading south. We did not go Blue Bluff. We made a little turn there, but I hope you enjoy the scenery. It was a fun day to go out on a ride. The weather was beautiful, so I'll just let this ride on out. So I have made it to the event, and it was right at 27 miles to get here. So walk around and take a look at some of these bikes. This was billed as a vintage bike ride. I don't know what they classify vintage, but quite a few of these look a little newer than what I would call vintage.
Yeah, take it off now that you can feel it, and I'll show you. You want to say to Ashley? Ashley, Jen, Ashley? Hey, Okay.
No, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
This is nice. Here's this guy down there I know on the other end of the corner. That's why I don't have a wife.
Well, I just picked one up over the weekend. So.
No, why happy life?
Just sold it.
Mike,
Yeah.
it's Blake. I don't know if you remember me.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. How you
I
doing?
saw a little bike there. I thought I'm going to park next to you. Pretty good. You did all right? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
I've been watching the. I lost you for a while.
Oh, yeah?
Your Facebook or your YouTube. Yeah.
Well, I wound up, I had the original channel, I wound up having some issues with, so I deleted it. That's why when you lost me, then
Yeah.
I stayed off of YouTube. I messed up. The original, when I first started filming, is when I was still working at Warner Steel, and I always wore a Warner Steel shirt in my videos. Well, and then after I retired, and the channel started gaining some popularity, well, people then started, trying to reach out to Warner Steel to get a hold of me, and it caused some issues with the kids who own the business now and stuff because they were being inundated. So anyway, I wound up going off of YouTube for a while, and yeah, started it back up. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever make the trip across the United States? I suppose. I knew you were going to.
Well, I'm taking this one to Moab in September for a 7-day event out there.
You're not going to ride it out there, are you?
I would love to ride it out
yeah,
there,
yeah.
but my wife has 2 brothers in Denver, and so I got a feeling I'm going to have to load it up and take my wife, drop her off in Denver, and then go to the event in Moab on this. So, but if she decides not to go, I'm definitely riding this to all the way to Moab. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What a great journey.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah. What kind of range do you get?
What? Sorry.
What kind of range do you
So I've got that 1.25 gallon tank back there, which will get me about 100 to 110 miles, and then I've got a little auxiliary tank mounted to the side. It's not fed into it. I have to pour it into that, which is about almost another gallon. So I can get probably 160 miles, something like that. Yeah. I'm hoping to do the entire ride today, just on that tank back there. But we'll find out. Yeah, it gets 80. The last 2 times I've checked it, I've got right around 80 miles a gallon out of it.
Yeah, I no doubt that it gets high MPG.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that tank. I'm just like, it's still small.
Yeah, it is a small tank. Yeah. I built, like I said, you probably overheard me. I built the bike for an event out in Moab, Utah, and we're not going to go.
It's 7 days and 620 some odd miles. So we're not going to go much over 100 miles any given day. So that's the reason I went with that size. Try and keep the weight down, but get me enough range to get me, to each day in case there's no fuel stops. So, yeah.
It's all on like off-road trails?
It is. Well, I mean, I think there might be some on-road, but I mean, it's designed to be all off-road trails, yeah. Well, this one's got a lot of aftermarket parts on it. Instead of the original 70cc engine, I've got 125, so it's not very fast, but it'll as long as there's not too stiff a wind in my face, I can do 55, so. I figured today I'll just let everybody take off and I'll follow along behind. If I can keep up, I can keep up. If I can't, I can't. So, it's a wild beast. You want to ride it?
This is the tank?
It is. I mean, I've told this story a couple times already, but I built this bike. I'm doing a 7-day off-road event in Moab, Utah, for all designed around small bore mini bike type things. So the tank usually is underneath the seat. Yeah. Well, I'm carrying tools and parts and everything that I might need for 7 days off-road. So I got rid of the tank that was underneath the seat, and I have filled the inside of the frame with parts. I mean, I've got this thing stuffed all the way up to the front with chains and anything.
Is that a handle in there? Yeah.
That's a hammer. Where I was going with that, so I knew that the small tank underneath the seat wasn't going to be enough anyway. So I added this one, which I think is 1.25 gallons. Plus, I added this little gallon auxiliary tank on the side. It's off a Honda CT70. It's not off of this bike.
Oh, shit, okay.
Now, it's not tied into it. I have to dump it into this tank. Okay. But the bike gets about 80 miles to the gallon, so I think that tank gets me 110 miles or 120 miles. And this whole event is designed, it's 1,000 kilometers, which is 620 some odd miles over 7 days. So we're probably never going to go much over 100 miles anyway. So that's why I went with that size tank, because it'll get me the range I need, but it's not so big I got too much extra weight. If that makes sense.
Well, I gotta say thank you, because your videos helped me wire up.
You watching my videos?
I did.
Oh, well, shit, you know everything I just told you. You know all about that.
I have a Madass 125.
Okay.
So I
little motorcycles coming over to look.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'm on the 212.
This is pretty cool, huh?
Yes.
They are. It turned. The bike went from a 55 mile per hour bike to now it'll do 90, 95.
Wow,
and it's sketchy.
That's gonna say there's no fucking way I do that.
It is so damn sketchy. But
well, what was your name?
I'm Mike.
Mike Warner. Nice to meet you, Mike.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and I own a 2019 Monkey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, this event I'm doing in Utah in September, I think there's going to be half dozen, 8 guys or so on those monkey bikes. Yeah, out there. It's all designed around these. Myself and a few other guys. This is actually an original Honda Trail 70.
Yeah.
A lot of the bikes in that event are going to be the knockoff clones. You know, the newer clones, Chinese clone bikes. But they've all been so modified.
They're awesome. These platforms. The motors are great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this thing is bulletproof. I mean, I've put by the time I get done today, I'll have right at 1,000 miles on that engine since the first week of April when I finished this build. Jesus. What's in here? What's that?
The fuel?
Nitrous.
Yeah, that's my fuel. That's nitrous. That gets me up to 40 mile an hour.
Oh my God, damn. You need wheelie bars back here. You're going to be around like this.
Yeah, no, it originally had tank underneath the seat, but I used this one to give me some longer capacity,
So you can ride all the way to Hard Truth?
Yeah, there you go.
Right on.
Oh, is that where we're headed, Hard Truth?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it is, okay.
I think there's a stop in between, but ultimately that's
Gotcha.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
I never did hear where we're actually going to.
I just found out.
Oh,
we're going to Harbor Truth again because I like their old fashions. So
Gotcha.
I'll drive all the way out there for an old fashioned.
Yeah, the first stop, my understanding, the first stop doesn't have any kind of services anyways. It's more about like, okay,
just get everybody back together. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, wait for Mike to catch up on his little.
Yeah, wait for Mike on his nitro.
Something tells me that it's got a little bit more than what you're giving on.
It'll do. As long as I don't have too much of a headwind, it'll do 55, maybe 60 if I'm really lucky. But that's about it.
You know it's me. Come here. Come here, you fucking. How you make it, motherfucker?
How you doing?
Dude!
Mike, this is Sugar Pussy.
Sugar Pussy. Mike Warner, nice to meet you, man.
How are you?
Made it!
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago, I'm like, fuck. I pull in and I'm
It
like,
was nice meeting you.
Yeah,
See
you
ya.
too, man. Thanks.
I pull in and they're like, what do you need to do? I'm like,
Deal with the shocks on the back.
Yeah.
I like that. Good idea.
I was telling somebody I extended the swing arm 3 inches to give me a little longer length. Well, then that put the shock at 2. I didn't like the angle of the shock. So I added, I moved on the swing arm, I added another mount 3 inches farther to get it back up to the original angle of it. Well, then that left me, the original mount was open. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not, instead of just leaving it open, let's put a shock there. So I rigged up a back mount.
Well, that's...
Plus, I'm carrying so much weight.
That's right. That's perfect.
It actually, I did it more for looks and kind of kicks and giggles, but it actually rides pretty decent.
I was going to say, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Well, I think we're just about ready to take off here. There's a bunch of bikes. Yes, there's got to be at least 60 to 70 riders here. I think I'm just hanging the back. There is not another small bore bike here. Well, looks like they're starting them up. We are now in my territory. This is my backyard. We're heading to, I heard that the final destination where we're heading to is a distillery called Hard Truth in Nashville, Indiana. And I believe from this point on, we're going to be taking roads that you guys have seen 1,000 times, because literally I just live like 2 miles that way. So having a blast. We lost half the pack. I was toward the back at one point when we took off, and somebody in front of us
got slowed down by a vehicle that got in between us or something, and I was in a spot where I knew exactly where we were at, and I watched the guys in front of me go a wrong direction, and I'm like, nah. And I tried to wave them and say, hey, the other way, and then the people behind me, none of them wanted to follow the guy on the mini bike. Who can you imagine that? Who wants to follow the guy on the mini bike? So they all went the wrong way also. And by me going the right way, I actually wound up catching up to the lead pack here somehow. And I'm just kind of staying at the tail end of the lead pack. But it's been fun. We're going to be in some twisty stuff here pretty soon, and my bike will do just, I can keep up with them just fine. There are a couple stretches where long, straight, and it was everything I could do just to try and keep up with them to make it to the next turn, make sure I knew where they were going. So anyway, all right, guys, I'm having a great time. I'm 62 miles in, but remember I went 27 miles up there. So, all right, here we go through the woods.
So we've reached a stopping point. They pulled over. We're right up here, up these steps, Low Gap Road, which is in my backyard. It's a road that anybody who's been on one of my spring rides has probably been down Low Gap. At this point, I am 75 miles in. Bike's running really well. Keeping up with the pack. No problems so far. A lot of good guys. I'm surprised at how many I've spoken to that actually watch or are familiar with the channel. Kind of interesting. These are not the type of guys that I would have thought would have followed me, but I've probably talked to at least 4 people that knew who I was and followed me. So having a great time.
Yeah. You're lucky, man.
Yeah, they just hit your car and didn't upset your. That's pretty crazy.
You got real lucky, I have to say.
They got close. Yeah. 74?
Yeah.
It's 75. I got a shitload of cigars. I didn't know if anybody even saw it.
Oh, I see you right from me.
This Nick makes me. I just turned out a little bit too wide on that one.
I don't know. Sure. But no, the actual Honda ones never had it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess we did meet each other. Yeah, we lost him through here. That's what I have no signal anymore. I don't want someone in front of me, stop me. Right, you probably need to run. Yeah. Good job, man. Nobody asked me to do it. I just was out.
Yeah. Him and Phil are on that non-RT race.
Oh, okay.
Every time they come past, really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I always go with more answers.
This isn't everybody.
Just hanging out with the leaves. He was on safari.
Right.
Moss up there. I thought he was Damn it, that's awesome.
Definitely the smallest bike here. Well, we have made it to Hard Truth Distillery outside of Nashville, Indiana. I believe this is the end spot for the ride. The little Moab bike did just fine.
What do you think, Chris?
114 miles today. Pretty fun ride, pretty spirited at times. Some of these guys got some bikes that'll scoot, and I do not. But she did just fine.
Well, I have finished the ride with the group, and what a bunch of fun that was. I think the name of the group that puts the event on is called Ton Up Indy. If I'm wrong on that and any of you guys are watching video, I apologize, but I believe that's who sponsored this thing. I haven't done the math, so somewhere around 90 miles. Pretty fast-paced ride. I don't know what my average mile per hour is now, but it was everything I could do to keep up. I was wide open throttle most of the day. Obviously, they did not take any gravel roads or any kind of rough roads. But I'd do it again. It was, like I said, a heck of a lot of fun. Glad to have the Piggly Wiggly here out, put some more miles on it. So I am heading home now. I've got, I don't know, maybe 20 miles to go. Something like that. I'm on Helmsburg Road in Nashville, outside of Nashville, Indiana. I filmed up and down this road before, and some of you guys on the spring ride, you've been down this road. So I won't bore you guys with a whole lot more ride footage. I'll probably just shut this off and wait till I get back to the shop and just do a last final update. But if you made it this far in the video, I certainly do appreciate that you stuck around. Thanks. Well, I have made a quick stop at the Helmsburg General Store. I've shown it in videos before, this little country store right here at the intersection here in Helmsburg. And I've got me a Klondike bar and a drink. And I'm gonna sit for a minute and relax and just think about the ride today. I still got another 15, 20 miles to get home, but I saw this place and I thought, you know what? It's time for a snack. I gotta say, this little general store, it's all right. Got a couple ladies in there working, super, super nice. They're kicking out pizzas as fast as they can make them. They must have a pretty decent takeout pizza business out of this little shack right here. Got me some, got a drink down my Klondike bar. It's time to jump back on this and head back to the shop. Successfully made it back to the shop here. We covered 140.61 miles today.
And as I've said in every other video, couldn't really be any happier with this thing. It runs and rides great. Can't wait to take it to Moab. So I'm gonna take you guys inside and let's wrap this video up. Well, if anybody happens to be interested, I averaged 38.8 mile per hour and that 140.6 miles. That's actually slower than I thought it would be. I thought we were ripping it way faster than that, but apparently we must have been going slower at times. And I hit a max of exactly 61 mile an hour. Now, it wasn't a steep downhill, but it definitely was not an uphill or flat grade. We were rolling downhill. So the bike now has 1,475 kilometers on it. This was a brand new speedometer when I first built this bike. It was on 0. So I'll do the math. Well, it's going to be what? It's going to be shy of 100 miles. I think 1,600 kilometers maybe is 100 miles. I'm not really sure. I'm not 100 miles, 1,000 miles. We're gaining on it though. It ran great today. I mean, it was not hard for it to hit mid to high 50s and stay with traffic all day long. We had any kind of steep incline, they would kind of pull away from me a little bit, but we were on quite a few twisty roads and so forth, and this thing handles twisties just fine. So really excited to take this out to Moab and see what it does. I feel like I've put the suspension and everything, I've put it through about as much testing as I can do. I think it's going to hold up. I think the rack's going to hold up. You know, obviously the terrain out there's going to be still tougher yet than what I've been riding on, but I think we're going to be just fine. All right. See you guys on the next video. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Don't know what I'll be bringing to you next, but if you haven't subscribed, please do that. You'll get notifications for when I post new videos, and I try and do that once a week or so. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks.